Hello and welcome to MetroArts. I am your host, Larry Wallace. Here on MetroArts, we highlight some of the best in the business, from fine artists, photographers, and performing artists to cinematographers and musical artists, all from the Metro Detroit area. On today's show, we'll learn about the efforts of the Detroit Sound Conservancy to preserve Detroit's musical legacies. During our Checking In segment, we'll catch up with Tableau Cadre and have an in-studio dance performance. But first, singer-songwriter Noah De Lyon is here to perform in studio.
Searching for better days away, hoping that better days away, knowing that better days away, hoping that better days away.
Hello, Noah, and welcome to MetroArts.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So we just heard your song, Better Days.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that song?
So Better Days is about a couple of years I spent in my life, kind of after I had stopped going to college, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with music and life in general, and a lot of the relationships in my life were changing. So I was feeling lost, and that song was just me exploring that feeling of yearning for something better and bigger than where I was in my life at that point.
Now, I really want to know, how did your music career begin?
So I've always kind of been like banging on pots and pans since I was a kid. And my dad used to work in the record business for a long time, so I was always hearing all kinds of different sorts of music. And so growing up, I was always listening to music, and so I always wanted to play music and to write music. And so from like when I got a guitar when I was 7, and when I got a drum set when I was just around that age as well, I just started like making as much noise around the house as possible, and my parents could never shut me up. And so eventually it came to a time where I was able to like buy my own instruments and stuff like that. And so I started palling around with friends of mine in middle school, and we started making terrible songs together, and it just kind of went from there.
Now, your video clips are actually really visual. Where does your inspiration come from?
Yeah, so my inspiration comes from all over. I watch a lot of music videos because I'm such a fan of music, and so both of the visuals that I did, well actually all of the visuals that I've done so far for my solo music have been with my friend Chris Herman, and him and I talk a lot about how we're able to take these things that I've made, these sonic palettes, and how we're able to kind of blow color into them. And so him and I work a lot, like we watch a lot of videos, we watch movies, he takes so many pictures like while he's traveling that a lot of times what we see and kind of what we're feeling, we talk a lot about colors. And so with my videos, it's been a lot of how can we take a visual palette with colors and with motion that is really going to match the flow of what's going on in the music.
Cool. Now we're actually going to hear one more song from you today. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So Gonna Be You, this next song I'm going to play, is a song that I wrote with my friend Judson, and it's about just, I guess, sort of the yearning for somebody, like wanting to be involved with somebody, but knowing that you really just don't want to be alone. And it's kind of a weird disconnect of, I want to be with you just because I don't want to be by myself, and kind of being afraid to fully commit to something that you don't completely understand.
Yeah, that's understanding. Now, where could people find out more information about your music?
So I'm all over everywhere on the internet. noahdeleon.com is my website, so that's NOAHDELEON. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all of those music streaming platforms as well.
Well, Noah, I want to thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're watching MetroArts on Detroit Public Television.
I would hide in my shame and I'd wallow in the pain of yesterday. Used to wonder how I'd see tomorrow, or find a single thing I want to say. But that's over, I know you're the one. You'll talk to me all night about what's going on. And we both know that I gotta settle for somebody. Is it gonna be you? Is it gonna be you? As the days quickly pass and we follow all our dreams from yesterday, and we talk about all that tomorrow could be if we just keep it up this way. But it's over, I know you're the one. You'll talk to me all night about what's going wrong. And we both know that I gotta settle for somebody. Is it gonna be you? Yeah. Is it gonna be you? 'Cause all I want, all I need is for you to promise I'll give you all that I can. Is it gonna be you, baby? Is it gonna be you? Oh, oh, 'cause all I want, all I need is for you to join with me. Take my hand, share this dance. I promise I'll give you all that I can. If it's gonna be you.
And now, let's welcome founder and executive director of the Detroit Sound Conservancy, Carleton Gholz. Welcome to MetroArts.
Thanks for having me.
So could you tell me the overall mission of the organization?
Detroit Sound Conservancy was founded in 2012, and our main mission has always been preservation. Detroit music preservation, all genres, many different kinds of materials, historic preservation, buildings, oral histories. So that's where our core mission is and has been and continues to be.
Now, I'm really interested in knowing, how did the organization form?
It's a good question. It came out of my own research. I have a doctorate in communication and cultural studies, and I wrote my dissertation on the rise of the DJ in Detroit and disco in the 80s and 70s and 80s. And so I created an archive of materials for that dissertation, and then when I was done, I didn't know where that material should go. And so the Sound Conservancy was really about thinking about how to build new collections in the 21st century.
Okay, now I must tell you, your website is really fascinating. You have a wide range of audio and visual artifacts, ranging from country to jazz, and we actually have a sample of the blues selection.
Great.
So let's watch.
The chessmate was the center for the change of the new hippie movement, the Enlightenment movement, the change from being very straight into experimental and psychedelic and non-war, finding yourself, peace, self-expression. I ain't gonna do it the old way, I'm gonna do it the new way. The chessmate was the center for that change in Detroit.
We are gathered here today, the we being Live 6, the Detroit Sound Conservancy, Detroit SIP, is kind of a throwback to a neighborhood staple. So we're here to recognize the Chessmate Cafe, which was once a beat poet kind of coffee shop that existed at the corner of Livernois 6 Mile, which is now a coin laundry.
So Carleton, the blues selection is just one of many artifacts in your collection. Can you tell us a little bit about other artifacts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we could talk about the video we just saw briefly, we were tasked by Live 6 to come in and do a series of programs to connect new residents and old residents back to their own shared history. And so the Chessmate had folk music, it had blues, and then it eventually became a after-hours disco spot. And so we did 3 days of programming at a nearby coffee shop that's new in the neighborhood. And one of the nights was a blues night. We had Carleton Washington come in and play guitar, but we also had storytelling and people remembering when people like John Lee Hooker played the Chessmate back in the 60s in Detroit. So that's really about our mission. So we said earlier, preservation's our mission, but if you do preservation well, then you can do other things like storytelling. You can bring in and connect old residents and new residents with live musicians, and you could do really interesting programming that's not just a concert, it's not just a lecture.
What are some of the highlights and accomplishments that you are most proud of the organization?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, it's you know, it's a little nonprofit that could. We do our best. We have a board of 5 individuals, and I think I'm most proud of just building an organization. We have a board, we have meetings, we have the treasurer. The board is majority black. I think that's really important for a city like Detroit to have that kind of commitment, since we work with African American assets and histories. It's not the only cruise that we work on, but it's a very important one. And so I think I'm just most proud of this organization, the fact that it survived this long, that we're to the point now where we thought maybe it would just be a website. When we first started off, we thought, okay, we'll just have a great website with all this stuff that people can engage with. Now we realize that's not enough. We need a home. We need a place where people can come to. We do need a museum kind of atmosphere somewhere. So that's really what the next phase of the organization is going to be. How do we build a real home for the community to engage with?
Of course. Now, where could people find out more information about the organization?
We have the website, which you seem to like, DetroitSound.org. It's right there. Our designer, Dylan Box, who did our logo, he did the website. We lots of different kinds of materials there. We're on all the social media, etc. That's the kind of things we're doing right now.
Well, Carleton, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Larry.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. You're watching MetroArts, produced for Detroit Public Television at Wayne State University. In our checking in segment, let's welcome Catherine Mays and Jennifer Giacomelli from Tableau Cadre. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So the name of Tableau Cadre is pretty unique. Where did it come from?
I'm glad you asked. So our artistic director and founder, Kendra Ray, created the name. So a tableau is a picture or an image, and a cadre is a nucleus of effort. So we really try to embody that in all of our pieces and choreographies. We try to transport the viewer or the audience into the image that we create.
Okay, so I really want to know what's been new since your last appearance 3 years ago on MetroArts.
We've been up to a lot. We've grown our group. We've added multiple new members, and we've been able to draw from more cultures and more traditions of dance around the world.
Jennifer, you are actually the choreographer and the dance captain. Tell us about your role.
As dance captain, I'm kind of like the drill sergeant. When we do have new choreography, or we're cleaning up choreography or getting ready for a show or a performance or anything, I'm kind of the one that really looks at the bigger picture, because when we're 10 dancers or 7 dancers dancing a piece, we're not 7 or 10 individual dancers. We're one group. Trying to make all of our repertoire as clean and presentable as can be.
Cool. Now, speaking of working together as a whole, how is it working together, even though you guys might have different backgrounds?
Yeah, we do all have totally different backgrounds, but we all speak the language of dance. We've all come from, some of us 4 years old to 45 years old, some of us from 18 to 29, been taking some form of dance classes and studying dance, whether it be more traditional styles like ballet and tap, modern, jazz. Many of us have extensive backgrounds in belly dance, tribal style, and rock sharky style. And it's not always easy, and it takes a lot of work, but we all work together to help each other and give notes to each other and help everybody get the different feelings and the styles, and yeah, bring it all together and working together.
Into a tableau.
Into a tableau.
Now, where can people find out more information about Tableau Cadre?
So they can always check our website, tableaucadre.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Tableau Cadre, and also the hashtag FindWhatMovesYou2018. So there's lots of information out there to learn more about us and hopefully join us at a workshop or community event.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you for having us.
Up next, let's enjoy Tableau Cadre. You're watching MetroArts, produced at the Midtown Studio at Wayne State University.
tica-tica-bum, tico. Pra eu cantar o tica-tica-bum, tico. Com a canção do tica-tica-bum, tico. Meu coração faz tica-tica-bum, tico. E vem a saudade da Bahia, onde o samba tem canjeira também numa batucada. Tic-tic-bum, tic-tic-tic-bum, tic-tic-bum, tic-tic-tic-bum. É brasileiro, tica-tica-bum, tico. Com um pandeiro fazendo tica-bum, tico. E para terminar o tica-tica-bum, vocês devem cantar o tica-tica-bum. Tica-tica-bum, 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 tico. Bum 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 tiki bum 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 bum. It don't make sense the chicka chicka boom chick, but it's a melt the chicka chicka boom. Achi achi achika boom. That's all you've got to say. Do chase beijinhos away. Chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom 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 chicka boom 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 boom.
Let's pick up the pace. Let's make the parties longer. Let's make the skirts shorter. Let's all go to hell in a fast car and keep it hot.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. I would like to thank our guests, Noah DeLeon, Carleton Gholz, and everyone from Tableau Cadre for being here today. Remember, you can watch any of our shows online at MetroArtsDetroit.com and find us on social media. I'm your host on MetroArts, Larry Wallace, reminding you to always support the arts and cultivate the talent in your community.